Pretty much got everything where I want it. So I got the radio down the bottom, 100 watts on 2 meters. The amp down there is a backup amp. And the very bottom's a power supply here too. The 101 stuff that if I had somewhere better to put it, it would be set up. The 901 ready to go with the speaker. The amp that I use. But I really like the 710, but sometimes I just don't feel like using that small of a radio.
Well,
it sounds pretty good with the 102 speaker.
Somebody's keying up. Smudge has taken on the same sort of effort. I think
what's really nice is I could go on here and I can look and see
sort of effort, and
how many people are on the band. Let's see what's this running.
The guy who was working on the project, was leading the project, was basically saying that they can
with a generator and then electric motors. But what they've got on them now is this system called Azipod, and rather than the propeller and a rudder behind
the
that,
scroll wheel doesn't work on it, so basically
the electric motor and everything is located in one big pod
that can actually turn back and forth, and probably pretty much can go all the way and to the side, where then it becomes like a stern thruster. But anyway, they use that Azipod system now. So I can imagine when they're having trouble with that electric motor, it's not as easily accessible as it used to be when it was just an engine inside the engine room. The generator might be working great, but the actual electric motor in the Azipod maybe is giving them some trouble. That's a great route down there. The Mexican Riviera is one we've done several times out of San Diego and also out of LA. And so going down to Acapulco and those areas there, Mazatlan, Zihuatanejo, the usual locations down there were kind of fun. So, and most of them were on Carnival too. So, what's funny is the guy who's never been on a Mexican Riviera cruise is Gil, N2GG, and he's kind of Mr. Cruise. He's been on cruises all over the place. He said, I got to take that one sometime. And so we've kind of recommended that route. Of course, he's with the family right now cruising Japan. I got a picture from him the other day at within view of Mount Fuji. So they're having a great time there doing a Japan cruise right now. All right, that was a lengthy one. I'll send it to Lark, and then I see good morning to Ken, who's now on the list. KA4A from NM5NU. Okay, very good. I just enjoyed listening, and I don't know the particulars of the propulsion. I want to recall that from the back of the boat you can see two propellers. The source. Okay, this pole needs to be fixed. Well, then that may not be the only control. It will slightly, but this is just...
Oh, it's the wide boys.
Appease the input impedance on the amplifier. If that's the case, then I can put just a 3 dB pad at the amplifier and take it off the radio. The little 3 dB 5 watt attenuator with the not end connector. What is that thing? The SMA connector was a hell of a lot cheaper than paying big dollars for one of the other ones. So I figured, well, I'll try that first. If it doesn't work, I'm out $16. Otherwise, it would be out like almost 65. So that wasn't worth it.
Oh yeah. When I was hooking up my pure signal with my RM Italy, I ordered a bunch of SMA attenuators from Amazon for like maybe $30, ranging from 1 dB all the way up to like 15 dB. And because I didn't know which one I needed, and it was pretty cool, pretty cheap to do that.
Yeah, I think I turned 62, and then, let's see, well, November, and then I ended up retiring, I think, in March of the following year. So, you know, I was working on a ranch, and having to get out in 20 degree below weather and feed livestock finally took its toll on me, and I decided it was time to retire. Over.
I'm telling you, I grew up on a ranch. I know exactly what kind of physical hardships and hard work. I mean, hunters and farmers, they get up at
And these two big old bull elks came in the backyard, and I had my door open, and I hear this munching, and I look out my door, and there's this big old elk munching away just outside my door. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. Pretty cool. Yeah, November X-ray 780 for ID. But that's pretty cool. That's amazing about the pictures. That you can receive pictures, but you can't send them.
Have I received pictures? I don't even know if I've received any pictures. K7OFG here.
So let me...
Let's see, Cambodia was on at 7:30 my time, and I got him barely, because I was past sunrise. The X-ray Whiskey 4 Delta X-ray, that was a good one in Laos. Anyway, it was a productive morning. I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
Trying to get the waterfall to move.
I went down to that surplus place down here, and they
Still have his mohawk in there. Last time I was in there, but yeah, it'd be a lot easier. You know, in the basement in Virginia, Dennis, when I was making the mods to that thing, I didn't even put it in the case. I left it on the floor and ran the wiring to it. Had it all wired up with some long leads there to the R390. And I ran it for a long time that way until I got it right. Oh, the cat would try to come in there, and I have to close the doors because I didn't want the cat there nosing around with that high voltage. But yeah, oh, I'll tell you, that Valiant is 50 pounds in a 50 pounds in a probably about a 10-pound bag. But it does work. Yeah, it's a great rig to cut your teeth on. I was ready to start building stuff when I was done with that. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. Good hearing you. And yeah, that rain. I don't know whether we're due to get anything more here or not. But we had some last night, and then it let loose a little bit this morning. And I'm hoping when it dries off, it's a light, faint buzzy. It sounds like 120 hertz actually. Light buzzy in there. And Gary, yeah, I used to work for the power company. The problem is the guys that hunt the interference and find it, turn a work order over to another part of the company, and it's just like you're dealing with the Army, you know. No job is complete until all the paperwork is done, and then we get in line and wait. So I think eventually they'll fix it. In Virginia, I got a note from the interference guy that said, well, we found it's where you say it is, and it was still another 2 months before they fixed it. Over.
Yeah, that figures. Well, I had this noise on a couple of years ago, and it suddenly went away, and I called the guy and said, hey, thanks for fixing it. He said, well, I didn't do anything. So I don't know. I don't know if they actually do anything or not. You know, they probably don't have to. So
maybe they don't. But then again, maybe I get lucky. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe in a couple of months it'll be gone.
Well, the guy did put in a work order. Yeah, they did with me, and it was a couple of months, but it turned out to be a lightning arrestor both times.
Ooh, AM looks good. Oh. It looks like AM. I thought it was. I think it was. But I'm picking up. Yeah, it is. So I'm picking up. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at my monitor. I'm picking up too much from these guys over here to listen to the AM very wide. And now somebody is actually on sideband. Either that or some guys working on a radio and it's putting on double sideband. I see something right there.
I told you that story.
Wow. I used to smoke American Spirits, but then I went to a
It's nice to be able to look at the band and like just basically, if your mouse would work right, you literally could just click on it and the water from there. I don't know if this one will go up there. Nope. Keep breaking all my tripods. Anyway, it's nice when the band's like this because you can easily just look at signals and go right to them.
I think Cherokee 6FU's got that many.
He's only got 7,000.
Thank you.
I don't even have that many. I got 78,000.
Last time I looked, I think mine was up around 144. Not that it makes any difference.
Every once in a while, I'll go to QRZ and confirm everybody. I don't remember working them, but they remember working me, so.
That's not what those mean.
What's it mean?
That's how many people looked you up. Unique lookups. There's also another number that's always bigger that includes repeat lookups.
Okay, so Hank, I got this thing. It's a widget, and it's called the Revolver Map. And I've had it since February 11, 2012. I got 25,292 lookups. That's only on the Revolver Map. That's like if I'm calling CQ or something, people will hear me, they'll look me up.
Kind of like Whisper.
I'm really not sure.
That's all Whisper is people that hear you.
Yeah, but I'm more of a guy that likes to get out there and get dirty.
In fact, you run whatever you're running for power Whisper. At least my Whisper is only 200 milliwatts.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I just don't see the point.
200 milliwatts and a lousy antenna.
It shows you what you can do. Who can hear you around the world with 200 milliwatts and whatever antenna you're running. It shows you what the propagation is doing. It changes every night.
Yeah. Well, we already know all that.
That's right. I didn't get into Europe or Antarctica.
I worked Europe this morning, Norway.
But I'm not talking about working them.
I know. I'm just saying, propagation. So I
You
was
wanna argue?
Cambodia and Laos. A couple of JAs, but I didn't count them. But so propagation for me was pretty good out that way.
Hey,
K7.
You really wanted to know how good your antenna's doing, you just get one of these little whisper beacons and it'll surprise the hell out of you. W680.
You're funny.
I'm trying to be.
I already know how it works. People talk to me and say, "Ooh, you got a nice signal, Bobby."
This is a little more precise. You'd be surprised at how many. Where in the world you think you will probably not be able to be heard at all, and you really are. But 200 milliwatts.
It's an eye opener.
I'm pretty sure I'm heard pretty much everywhere anymore.
You got what's the EIB's amplifier, don't you?
Yeah, I don't use it though. I'm using this ACOM 1500. You know, a lot of times, Hank, I just work them with 150 watts or 100 watts.
Hey, why don't you sell that amplifier to me?
No.
Well, I wouldn't use it here.
It's not mine to sell.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take that much in conditions it could. Well, I could use it on the Mars frequency anyway.
Yeah, I worked a fistful of JAs the other morning on 40 at 150 watts, I think, on the 950. Everybody was amazed at how strong I was in Tokyo. So we have good propagation.
As he
That's
fades
just a
out.
single vertical. 35 foot with about 50 radial.
At what point do you want to just put metal grill work down there, metal fencing? Lay down some hurricane fencing.
I've already done all this stuff, Hank. I just use wire, 12 gauge mostly. It's about every 15, 20 degrees I got wire.
The more you can get down, the better.
They say there's a cutoff point where it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, you're doing radios about 60.
I had 150 of them down when I had the big vertical phase, but now I only got a single vertical.
So what would work better, 8 or 10 above ground or 60 buried?
Well, you don't have to bury them. I don't know why people think you got to bury them, but I'm just saying with the 4 dove wing radios, you know, those have to be precisely tuned to the frequency.
Yeah, what you got to specify, Hank, is do you want to work more than just about 10 kilohertz wide part of the band, and in that case, about 4 above ground radios are as good as 60 on the ground.
Yeah, the reason they want to bury them so they won't run over with a lawnmower.
Oh, okay.
Also, you got to tune the ones that are above ground, and like those dove wing radios, if you get more than about 10 or 15 kc away from the design frequency, they don't act as radios anymore.
Right, exactly. All our antennas change resonance points as we move around.
So, basically, if you don't want to put a lot of wires out, you can use above ground, as long as you're going to put up with some acting as well.
About enough again.
Track on Thursday drives by, and all the dogs, I got the little dog bark, and then the big dog starts barking.
Okay, Mike and Joe, good to hear everybody. Great aftermath. We got to revive the aftermath more officially. And don't forget the Bob AWI used a vertical ham stick up on top of his swamp cooler. He did use some of the radials from another vertical antenna to help it, but they're great antennas. I swear by them. I traveled all through Mexico with I had a 40 meter and a 20 meter ham stick, and I could phone home anytime. It's before the internet, before cell phones, definitely before satellite phones. So yeah, that's a good setup. It really works, and I understand about real estate and wives and things. And real quick, I was talking to a guy in he was British, but he was in Canada. But he was asking me about my antennas, and said, I guess you don't have a wife. And then he mentioned to somebody else that was having trouble because his wife wouldn't let him put up antennas. And he goes, I wonder what his maiden name was before he married her. and I laughed and hurt my rib like there was a knife in it. But yeah, I certainly understand the restrictions and people with HOAs and stuff. Really, like Bob had the HOA problem down there in Leisure World, so he got away with a hand stick, and he got out great. So I swear by those things. Okay, Mike, you have a good day. Good to hear you out here, WA6 OEM, and Joe W7RKN from N6IY 73.
Yeah, mid-King 680.
I need to be looking at less of the band. Or no, more of it.
TPA is that if you put something in line off your amplifier, it's reading the SWR, the untuned SWR, which is really not that as useful, right? As you'd want it to read the tuned SWR that the radio's seeing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. At that point, since it's the tuner's doing the work, and all I'm worried about is the amplifier happy. You know, I want to burn up the LD Moss on here. You know, I've been kicking around an idea about building my own LD Moss. I was poking around yesterday on the web, and I came up with about $1,500 worth of parts minus.
I wonder why it's not showing me my filter width.
Case to put things in, but I might be able to cobble up an old amplifier that I have, meaning rack-mounted VHF UHF amp, because it's got a huge chunk of aluminum, so that would suffice for cooling, and it has a 12-volt fan already mounted on it that I could wire into the device to keep it cool.
Yeah, it's still not showing it.
Oh man, there's no doubt you can build your own. It's just how much time and effort you want to go. You've got the skills to do it for sure. It's just how much time and effort. I think there's even sites out there that sell you all the parts, right? I think. But you can also buy one of those VK3 kits and all the certain parts from the VK3 site, right? The case and that, and kind of build your own, I guess.
Hang on one second.
It's chilly. Good morning, ladies.
He said,
Hey, Al, good morning. Good to hear you. I never heard you so early in the morning.
We started 99 actually. Always about 9:30, 10.
Good morning, Al. I just walked in. She was saying good morning, so that's why I had to put you guys on hold.
the band spectrum is always like in this spot where, like, can I just move it over to where, like, it always goes to the right place?
Al, you're an F7, but the band is running kind of crappy, so that's actually pretty
I don't
good
want to
for
be
right
looking
now.
at
So hopefully the band's
738.
rolling really good. You'll be
Okay, I jumped in my frequency a little bit. Just turn it on. Take the second warm up. But you're about the same hearing thing here, Jeff. How about a
I
great?
know there's a way to do it.
Yeah, you're about an S9, maybe +5 on the peaks there. But I'm also listening on the Half Moon Bay SDR because my noise level is about an S8.
Yeah, you hit 5 over, almost 10 over that time.
Yeah, at Half Moon Bay, you're about S9 plus into Half Moon Bay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to do
See,
it.
I don't want to be looking at above 300.
Raise the kind of
I don't have any interest in looking at that part of the band. And it's cutting me off at 178 when I could be looking at that extra part of the band if it was centered in there. And I'm not tuned
that you described to me yesterday
to the center.
Now, did you try running power through it?
Oh yeah, I had the amp
So if you change it to
it worked fine.
fixed,
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you got lucky with that one. Sounding good.
it looks like 7 to 200.
Close to 70 feet.
And then it jumps up to 500K. Well, I just want to look at 300K, but
Tune's really good.
so that's the only way to really look at the whole band. And now you're losing resolution. And you're looking at a whole nother 200K that you don't need.
I was just about to say my first run would be straight over to 17. I love 17 meters.
And you see now we have all this noise here. So I mean, we can adjust, like, you know, the level of the deal here.
It's an odd one, though. Getting an antenna to tune on all bands, including 17 and 12, is quite the challenge.
You're right.
We center it up. It's usually where you want to have it set to look at signals, I guess. You change your span here.
Well, am I getting any stronger down there, or is it still running, I guess, really long?
The cursor method will allow you to nudge the band one direction or another, but
give me some audio there again, Jeff, and let you know if I can hear you how clearly, Dre. Okay. K5B less.
yeah, I just like resolution on like SDR play a lot more. The SDR, you know.
Past the Downward expanders, Jesus. Oh yeah, I got you direct now. You're a solid S9, so yeah, your signals come up. It's weird, man. Sometimes I've got everything automated here. I turn on the SDR and I don't realize that I forget that I'm listening through the SDR, you know, because it's all automated. When I hit the PTT, it mutes it. So
See, it nudged it up to 349.
Sometimes I forget I'm on the SDR, and yeah, now when I switch back to the radio, you're fine. I know how to shut off the SDR right now.
What happens if I go in here?
Okay. Just if I can get this signal out.
That doesn't work.
Okay, there we go. But what I'm concerned with now is it cutting me off abruptly. No. Are you using Vox?
I never use this thing.
Push it off, but usually the noise gate will kind of clip off syllables. So if you get it too hot to block the background noise, it cuts you off. Oh, yeah. A little bit, yeah. Some of the end of your syllables are getting kind of cut off there, I just noticed. Yeah, dropped it back just a little bit. So that's...
Now, see, I don't like it.
But nevertheless,
I don't like it when the waterfall moves. Because then it changes its shape and you can't see where it is.
Very pleased with that. And its speed, my goodness. All right, I guess that's all I got for now. As far as that thing's right here, Greg, if you're listening, I
prefer to look at the entire band and then tune to what I see.
Good morning to Doug.
Not look at the band and go, ooh. I mean, just look at that. I mean, like, you have to rely upon bringing it up to yourself. But if you're sitting there like this, you just look, oh, okay.
And they were actually arcing and creating noise, like they were putting in
cheaper. It wasn't ceramic, it was a plastic.
You just change the waterfall, the sideband.
And they were putting those up
you
by
can
the
see it. That's a lower sideband.
San Diego.
Or markers at the top. The
the
sideband extends downward. It's pretty simple.
Well, I think I mentioned the.
It's amazing how much propagation is going on.
Got called out
On 40 right now. It's really good.
Indiana of some RFI, and it was affecting